And today we're going to talk about chapters 6 to 10 in Shiloh by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor. And this won a Newbery Medal book, as you can see on, the big gold medal right here. And it's just an amazing book. And so let's just dive right in and let's start at chapter 6. Okay, I have a question, and it is like, do you like complete darkness like it is in where Marty lives, or do you like darkness that is dark but there's like still lights on? I like complete darkness. Like, it's a little scary at times, but it's like I like it, and if I open the windows and I see the stars, that's better. So yeah, I like complete darkness. You can see the stars a lot. Okay, but anyway, Marty remembered a time when he ate Dara Lynn's chocolate bunny, right? And at least the ear. And do you think that he shouldn't have done that, right? But if you had been Marty, would you have done the same thing? I would have, because I'm the older brother, I wouldn't have done it because I have to show a good example. But yeah, so I wouldn't do it. Like, more than a good example, just I wouldn't do it. Okay, but anyway, so did you think that Ma actually thought that Marty didn't do it, or do you think that she actually believed Marty did it? But anyway, so do you think that Jesus was really sad because Marty ate the ear off Dara Lynn's chocolate bunny, or do you think that's just an exaggeration? What do you think? But anyway, so now have you ever lied or stolen, like some little things, like maybe the cookie or something? Like, have you ever done those kinds of things? And because of that, do you think that Jesus was actually looking at you? Like, I'll give you one. What are this one thing that you've done that maybe you wouldn't have done if you could go back in time? Like, everybody makes mistakes, so I think that you can think of at least one. Well, one time, I've gotten in a lot of fights with my friends. I wish that I just hadn't started them in the first place and we could just go along. Yeah, so I remember those, and yeah, that's one. And those are multiple fights. I just remember them as the first grade war. We became friends then, and then we screamed at each other. It was the most brutal war in the history of my school. At least I think so. Now, but anyway, so do you think that Jesus would want Marty to save Shiloh, or do you think that Jesus would want Marty to return Shiloh? And if you have been Jesus, what would you have wanted for Marty to do? I think that Jesus would want Marty to save Shiloh, and if I've been Jesus, I would be like, Marty, you want to save Shiloh? Awesome. Judge Travers is nothing but a mean old guy. Okay, but anyway, so, do you think that, so I have a question, and it is, do you think that, Marty here, he's half hungry all the time, right? Do you think that you could live being half hungry, or is that impossible for you? Well, if I eat at least half of my food, yeah, I think I could survive. I could survive, but I'll be a little hungry, but I could pretty much survive. I wish that Marty had some steak, because we had some steak today, really good steak. I mean, Shiloh would have loved that. And do you have anything in your fridge that could be fit for a dog? I had steak, like, it was delicious. I'm pretty sure that Shiloh would have loved it. I don't after that, I'm pretty sure that dogs don't eat fruits, even though we have like a million of them. So yeah, I can't think of anything. But anyway, so do you think that if David comes up to Marty's place, do you think that he's going to find Shiloh or not? And also, how do you think that telling somebody, even Daryl Lynn, okay, how do you think that telling somebody might help Marty? Like, and how do you think that it would help Marty? Well, I think that it'll help Marty because now two people are in the secret and he doesn't have to be alone in everything. So Marty has to lie to Daryl and talking about a snake, right? And have you lied to anybody else like about their weakness, using their weakness and using it against them, like, and lying about it, because Daryl Lynn's weakness is snakes, right? And Marty uses that to, make a lie. Have you ever done that? Oh, I have. My mom does not like reptiles. And then one time we were walking down the trail, okay, and it was like, not a desert, it was like a brushy place. It's a brushy place. And anyway, so this person, she was like, I think that she was having fun. I'm not very sure, but anyway, she screamed. Like more than screamed. She just really She but she sort of stumbled forward, and like my mom thought like, why is she doing that? Maybe there's maybe there's something there, and so she was thinking that, and then so I was like, no, I'm pretty sure she was just maybe she tripped on something or something, And so, I just went ahead because I began to think of this prank. And so I looked in, and I'm not freaked out by reptiles, so I could do a really good job. Like, look, there's a Gila monster. It's poisonous. Oh my God, it's huge. And my mom actually believed it, and she actually because her weakness is reptiles. Actually, there was no reptile whatsoever. Okay, but anyway, so do you think that who did you think was going to be the first person to find out Shiloh, other than Marty, or did you think that nobody was going to find out about Shiloh? So, Marty and Judd Travers' conversation, it isn't the friendliest, right? And do you think that, how do you think that Judd turned out in the end? And do you sort of understand why Judd is a little mean at times, or do you still not understand a lot of it? Well, I understand now because he was treated badly. That might be a really big part of the reason. And also, I think that he turned out really badly. Even if he was treated badly, he could do some good things and he could become a good person, but he didn't choose that, right? And, Marty was really bold when he said all these things. Do you think that you could have been this bold? I couldn't. Okay, chapter 7. Do you think that David likes having a big house or not? Okay, another thing I wanted to talk about was, do you think that a hermit crab is a good pet compared to a dog? And if somebody was like, would you have a dog or a hermit crab? What would you get? Dog. I mean, I've always wanted a dog. I'd be like, dog, dog. I'd be screaming. Then again, I really like to travel and I want to be able to travel. And a hermit crab wouldn't be a bad pet. So, I guess maybe a hermit crab. I don't know. I'm not very sure. Maybe not. Okay, but anyway, so, yeah, again, do you think that, Marty will just tell David his secret, or do you think that David's actually going to find out? And if he does find out, how do you think that he's going to react to everything? So, Marty goes to Mr. Wallace's, right? Because he wants to get things that are too old to sell but are still okay, not moldy, right? And he wants to feed Shiloh, but if his dad or his mom had been there, he would never have done it, right? And how would your mom and dad react if you were saying stuff like that? They wouldn't like it. They would be embarrassed because we have plenty of food. Like, just today we had a steak. And so, yeah, they would be embarrassed. Okay. And did you think that Mr. Wallace was going to tell anybody? And what if somebody was watching? Did you have a feeling that maybe everybody was going to know some? What do you think? So, do you think that Marty felt good about telling Daryl all these lies? And if you had been Marty, would you have felt good? Marty said this, I don't feel good about the lies I tell Daryl or David or his mom, but don't feel exactly bad neither. So, he's like has mixed feelings too. Okay, but anyway, so do you think that things are actually going pretty good, right? And do you think that Shiloh and Marty, they have really fun, have a lot of fun, and it seems that everything's going to go good, right? Because everything's going good, did you have a feeling that something bad was going to happen? Because whenever things are good in the books, something bad always has to happen. Ugh. Okay. Now, do you think that Judd, why do you think that he suddenly wants to hunt on their land? Do you think it's just because he wants to hunt suddenly, or do you think that he's maybe thinking about Shiloh? What do you think? So, everybody began to give Marty's father so much food in the mailboxes, right? And do you think that it's going to be long until somebody finds out about everything? And what might be a few other ways that they'll sort of begin to get hints about something? Okay, do you think that with everything going on, if you had been Marty's mom or dad, would you have been suspicious, or would you be like, it's just, something, it's just gonna pass soon? What do you think? Now, at times, do you sound so grown up that you don't even recognize yourself, or has that never happened? Shiloh and Marty, they're just having a good time, right? And when did you think that the bad thing was going to happen? Well, it happened right here, right? Somebody said this, Marty, and there's Ma, right? And what did you think that Ma was going to do? Do you think that she was going to tell everybody, or do you think that she was actually going to keep a secret? And also, if you had been Marty, how would you have felt about this? And you can use, 3 or 4 words to describe how you felt, or you could use a simile, like I felt as if the devil himself was standing in front of me. Okay. Anyway, now to chapter 9. Uh-oh, right? We don't know what's gonna happen, and I hope that Marty, whatever it is, that Marty's actually gonna survive. But before that, I wanted to just talk about dogs in general. And does your mom or dad, or just your guardian, really, do they allow you to have a dog? And why do you think that dogs are considered man's best friend? Like, what are a few positive reasons about having a dog? 1, it makes you happy. 2, you get some exercise. You have to walk the dog, right? 3, you have a companion, and you're not that lonely. And yeah, and you get out. 4, you might have some new friends. Like, you're maybe walking your dog, and you're like, and maybe the dog sees another dog, and they begin to sniff each other, and then you begin to talk to the person who's walking the other dog, and you might get friends. Yeah, and then, but now, okay, so I got 4 reasons, and I could probably think of more, but for right now, that's 4. So I have a question. What might be a few reasons why the dogs might not be oh my gosh, I'm getting mixed up. Why do you think that? What are a few reasons why dogs might not be man's best friend? What do you think? Well, first of all, you can't go. You can't travel as freely. And number two, maybe your dog costs a lot of money. Number three, maybe it limits your time. Cleaning and walking and everything. Number four, maybe it gives you an allergy, or maybe it's a little too rough. Number five, it might destroy things. And number six, it might pee on things or poop on things. Okay, so now, so let's just go and finish these chapters, these last two chapters, chapters 9 and 10. And after that, I just want to talk about some other things that you could do, extra spin-off things that you could do. And and then we're just going to say a few last questions, then say bye. Okay, so now chapter 9. It is, do you think that if you had been Marty Small, would you have allowed Marty to keep Shiloh, or would you be like, this is a huge no, there's no way that you're gonna keep this dog? How would you, And were you surprised when, Marty's mom actually said that she would keep the secret for one day? And would your mom or dad or guardian do that? No. They would be like, Jaden, you need to return that dog right now. Immediately. And I understand why. Okay, but anyway, what are a few things that you hate? Because Marty hates squash, right? Like, what do you hate? What are a few foods that you hate? But anyway, so do you think that Judge Travers, if Judge Travers doesn't find Shiloh, do you think that he's even gonna really care? He's not really gonna care at all, right? He's not gonna care. He's gonna be like, well, good riddance. I'm gonna get another hunting dog. What is the only reason, in your opinion, why Judd keeps these dogs? For hunting, nothing else, right? And if you had been Judd, would you have bought these dogs only for hunting or some other things? Well, yeah, maybe hunting, but also just having fun with them. That could be another one. Treating them kindly, learning responsibility. I would do all those things also, but Judd only does one thing: hunting, killing. Okay. So I have a question. Do you think that right now, Marty is the person who is right, or do you think that Ma, who still thinks that he should return Shiloh, who do you think is right now? Right now. Wow, I used two words in the same sentence. There's two same words in the same sentence. At least in a row. Now, do you think that Marty should sell Shiloh? Not sell, but give away Shiloh? Or do you think that or do you think the judge is gonna track him down anyway? Shiloh, I mean. Marty was sleeping when suddenly there's a loud yell and there's like growls and all that. And Marty rushes up. There's a German Shepherd attacking Shiloh. But before that, if you had heard that, what would you predict had happened? I would predict not like another dog, but maybe like a wolf or a coyote. And if you had been Marty, how would you have felt? Simile, few words to describe. You know those. Okay. And, Dad saw everything. And even though German Shepherd got away, he saw Shiloh and everything fit together, right? And did you actually think that Dad was gonna punish Marty? Like, how do you think that he was gonna punish Marty? And if you had been Marty, like, what would you have expected? What would you have expected to happen next? Either take Shiloh back to Judge Travers, scream at me. Well, not scream at me, but be angry at me, or those two things. But anyway, so the German Shepherd here. The German Shepherd, how do you think that the German Shepherd should sort of say sorry, or at least the owner should say sorry, right? And anyway, so Marty thinks that Shiloh is dead. Did you think that Shiloh was dead or not? And if Shiloh had been dead, do you think that it would have been a very good end to the story? I don't think so, right? What do you think, how do you think that the end of the story is, even if we don't know what comes in the middle? Shiloh and Marty live happily ever after. I know that sort of sounds like something out of a fairy tale, but hopefully, maybe, you know? And so, if you have Marty, would you have even cared that Dad was looking, or would you have not cared at all? Like, how would you have thought about Dad looking at everything? If I had seen Shiloh like that, I would only care like 1%, and I would and everything else I wouldn't care at all. Okay, chapter 10, right? So, did you think that Dad was gonna send Shiloh to Judge Travers? I did, but actually Dad sends him to Doc Murphy, right? Even if Doc Murphy isn't a vet, he can still help. And how do you think that Marty's gonna repay Doc Murphy, or do you think that Doc Murphy's just gonna do it as an act from charity? Okay, but anyway, did you think that Shiloh was even going to survive or not? And from the description of Shiloh's wound, like, how did you react to that? I just winced at everything. I was like, that must hurt, you know? And yeah, I kept on thinking that. And you know, do you think that Shiloh will ever be, do you think that Shiloh, do you think it will be like an injury? Well, you know, like at times, like there's like really hard, sometimes you just get like a broken ankle, it heals, right? Maybe at times you get hurt so badly, like maybe you can't move, or maybe, you know, you can't do this arm won't move or something like that, right? Do you think that Shiloh will become that, or do you think that it's sort of like a broken ankle, it's gonna heal? But anyway, so do you think that that Marty's dad trusts Marty? And if you have been Marty's dad, would you have thought that Marty was keeping other secrets from him, or did you think that, or would you have thought that that was the only secret? I want to trust Marty now, but because like, if I had been Marty's dad, I mean, I wouldn't have been happy with Marty keeping Shiloh, but I would certainly understand. And yeah, so I wouldn't really trust Marty, but I would try to trust Marty a little, and I'd be like, I understand, but yeah, it would be a little hard, I get it. So, why do you think that, you know, Marty here, right? Who do you think is right here? Dad or Marty? And you have to, and if you had been, yeah, you know, and you really have to think about this. Even if we all like Marty, who do you think is right here? Well, I would act the same as Marty, but I sort of understand why Dad's also right, but Marty is also right, you know? Okay, now, anyway, how long, at max, how long do you think that, you know, Marty can keep Shiloh before they have to go away? How long? Not much, right? And maybe Shiloh's wounds will need a lot to heal, so hopefully at least 2 months, or at least a month. That would be enough to get Shiloh, you know, stitches here, heal the wounds, maybe, you know, get a little stronger again, fatten up, and then he's gonna go back to Judd. Or do you think that something else is gonna, like, a twist or turn is gonna happen? Like, during that time, do you think that Marty's gonna develop a plan? And what do you think that plan is gonna be? Okay, guys, we finished for today. So I have a few last questions, and then after that, I just wanted to talk about something else, but some spin-off activities. But first, yeah, questions. I'm gonna ask you. What was your favorite part in the chapters that we just talked about, which is chapters 6 to 10, then the whole book, and it might be the same favorite part, or if you can't choose, then do the whole book or just multiple scenes. Now, what was your favorite character? And if you can't choose, you know. Well, mine was Shiloh and Marty. What's your least favorite character? If you can't choose, you know, you can do anything you want. And mine's definitely Judd. Okay, now, so here's another question. How did you like the book? You know, always want to review. Well, you guys already know. So look, if I didn't like the book, I would be like this. I would be like, oh, I hate doing it. But I'm not like that, so I like the book. You can just tell by my enthusiasm. Okay? I'm right now very enthusiastic. See? Okay, but anyway, so yeah, I love the book. What about you? And you can also use similes, metaphors, and words to describe the book, you know? Me, simile, okay. This bird is like gold to me. Now, so what do you predict is going to happen next? Like, do you think that Marty's gonna develop a plan? Do you think that Judd's gonna grab Shiloh back the first chance? If Judd does get Shiloh back, what do you think that he's gonna do to Shiloh? And Marty's dad, do you think that he's gonna punish Marty? And overall, do you think that Marty is going to get into big trouble or not? And next time, we're just gonna finish the book, you know, Shiloh. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the book. The last part of the book is, yeah, this book in the end is just an amazing book. Hope that you enjoy the rest, okay? Now for the spin-off activities. Well, one thing that you could do is do a research paper on anything from here, okay? And you might be like, what? First, you could do dogs, or you could do things that are only mentioned once. Like, you could do West Virginia, where Marty lives. Or you could do hermit crabs, where, you know, hermit crabs, you know, what was his name? You know, Marty's friend had a hermit crab, right, as a pet. Or you could even just do, you know how Marty says something about his place being really dark at night? You could even do like those stuff like light pollution. You could do anything, you know? Or like or you could do maybe a bad animal treatment or anything here. And so you could do virtually anything. Okay, and also another thing that you could do is do debates. Like, you can be like, who is right, Dad or Marty? Or do you think that Marty should return to Shiloh? Like, stuff like that. You can think of a lot of them. Just think about questions and you could turn into debates. It's easy. But if you guys both agree in the same thing, that would be a little hard to debate on, but still, yeah. Okay, now unfortunately we have to leave. I hope that I see you next time. Just keep on reading because it's awesome. Opens your mind. Yeah, and makes your brain stronger because your brain's like a muscle. And yeah, it's also because it's awesome. Have a great rest of your day or night, because I always want to be fair tonight. And yeah, just keep reading, okay?